When entering your transaction data in CenterPoint, there are often values that you enter to an account that you also want to allocate to multiple management or production details. Those management and production details include things like profit centers, and the profit center is equal to a department for those of you with CenterPoint Fund. Production centers are equal to locations for those of you using CenterPoint Accounting for Business or Fund, and projects and other management details. So when entering your budget, you might also want to mirror those same types of details. Usually in regular transaction entry, we use account distributions to allocate those details. We can also use account distributions in budgeting. There is a separate video on creating account distributions, but let's take a look at an account distribution that I created for budgeting my overhead expenses. Underneath Setup and Accounts and Account Distributions, I'm going to edit the distribution called Budget Overhead, and I'm going to go to the distribution detail. You can see here that I've set up a distribution for my overhead expenses for my budget, where I'm going to distribute it to different profit centers on a percentage basis. And I'm also distributing it to a production year, which is a field that we have in our agriculture product and you don't have in the CenterPoint for Business or the CenterPoint Fund. Now I could use the other details, but for my budgeting purposes, this is the furthest I need to take the allocation. I'm going to click Save on that. And here's the budget I've been working on, and I already have figures into some of these expenses that are my overhead expenses, but I haven't allocated that to any of my profit centers yet. I can check that by going to Edit in Current Cell, and I've added the columns for production year and profit center so that you can see that no profit center or production year has been added. If you want to add columns like that to your screen, you could right click on the screen and go to Add Remove Columns and just put check marks in the columns that you want to see displayed. Now to apply that distribution to these values so that I can get them allocated to those profit centers, I would just go to Edit and Adjustments. Now I'm seeing all of my accounts here, even though I'm highlighted on one of my utilities expenses. So if I want to narrow it down, I can filter for just those accounts that are in the account category of utility expense. Now the amount of categories you have will also depend on the version of the product that you're in. I happen to be in the agricultural product, which has many more account categories. Now, as I highlight a line on the right-hand side, I'm going to see the current amount that is in there, and then I would see any adjusted amount. I haven't made an adjustment yet, so those two values are the same. But I'm not seeing any of those management details, such as the profit center. To add those details, I'm going to click on the checkbox at the bottom that says View Production. Now, to apply one of those distributions to these values, I'm going to go to the box that's labeled Adjustment Type and select the Apply Distribution Adjustment. I can apply it to all of the periods, or I can click on the down arrow and select selected periods that I want to apply that to. I'm going to apply it to all of the periods for that budget. And then the distribution that I want to use is that one called Budget Overhead. To perform the adjustment, I'm going to click Perform Adjustment button, and then I'm going to say yes to the question where it asks me, are you sure you want to perform that adjustment? Just keep in mind that no adjustment is really going to be made to your actual budget until you click Apply or Save. So I'm going to click yes, and you can see that it's taken that value and it's applied the distribution to it and broken it out to those separate lines. Like I said before, if I don't want this distribution to happen, I can click Cancel and it still won't do anything to my budget. But if I do want to apply it to my budget, I can either click the Apply button, or if I'm done with all of the accounts that I want to apply that distribution to, I can click Save. If I want to continue and apply it to additional accounts, I can keep applying the distribution to these additional accounts. I'm just going to click Save because I'm done. And then that's going to take us back to the budget where I can move back down to that line. And I can see if I go to Edit and I go to Current Cell, I can see that that account has had the distribution applied and the percentages have been applied to the different profit centers. So now I can see the detail is split to those different profit centers. You can apply different distributions to different accounts. You don't need to use the same distribution for all of the accounts within your budget.